Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. It's so fantastic to be with you again this morning. My name is Zamil Solanki, and yeah, it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and I know in the southeast Queensland, we're definitely, I guess, kicking off the week out of lockdown, which is fantastic. But our thoughts go out to our northern brothers and sisters in Cairns who are facing a snap lockdown with a Delta case active in the community for some time up there. So, like always, if you haven't gotten your beverage yet, go and grab it. And today we're going to jump in talking about celebrating wins. It's been an amazing couple of weeks with the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games and the amazing performance of the athletes over there. But not only just the athletes, hats off to Tokyo, to Japan, to all of the event organizers and team that work tirelessly behind the scenes. Yes, the cameras are focused on the athletes, but there is so much work that goes on behind the scenes. And that's one thing that I really wanted to touch on today as part of our topic in regards to celebrating wins. And if you are jumping on, I'd love for you to say hi. Definitely, yeah, not just give me a thumbs up. I'd love for you just to jump on, say hi, let me know that you are watching, because then we can make this even more interactive, which is great. Good morning, Tash. Thanks for jumping on. So yeah, jump on, say hi. But the Olympic Games, were just absolutely phenomenal. And one thing that really came out of it, and one thing that really blew my mind was just the tireless efforts of everybody working behind the scenes. We've seen some footage come out of the robust cleaning procedures, the amount of work that went in to ensure that the athletes and their teams, their coaches, their representatives, even the media were kept safe and healthy. And it's no small feat. At the end of the day, you're managing the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of people in confined spaces on the global stage. And at the end of the day, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. And to do that requires a level of resilience, determination, and grit to ensure that you can step up to that plate. But when achieved, and there would be arguments about whether or not this Olympics lived up to what it stands for, given that it was in an isolated bubble. There's photos of spectators trying to claw a free look on bridges into the stadium and things like that. But regardless of your thoughts, at the end of the day, it was still a very successful event given the challenges that our world faces at the moment. And despite the challenges faced, there were amazing wins to be had from these events. And we've seen the amazing wins in the Australian team, and hats off to the US to A team as well, who came out number one in the rankings, and the second to China as well. But Australia overall ranked 6th, which is an incredible feat. And I'm just going to read something to you. 46 medals came from 15 sports. 59% of medalists were on Olympic debut, and 118 Australians finishing 4th or 5th across individual and team events. Now, that came out of a Channel 7 publication yesterday, written by Rob Forsyth. And what an amazing tribute, to not only just the gold medallion recipients, but to the entire teams. And those that came so close, 4th and 5th, are still amazing achievements when you look at it on the world stage. And when we look at celebrating wins within our own health entrepreneur journey, it's really interesting that we always want to just celebrate the gold wins, the big ticket wins, that when we're actually hitting that peak, that's when we're waiting to celebrate. Not the silver, not the bronze, not the 4th, not the 5th. And at the end of the day, big or small, a win is a win. And it's just the perspective that you take when you look at that. Because as health entrepreneurs, we often are in an environment which is sometimes seen, or often seen as a quite a thankless job. Quite a thankless job. And when you look at that, well, if you're operating within a thankless job in an environment where wins aren't traditionally celebrated, then what is motivating you to keep pushing if you yourself cannot celebrate the wins that you achieve? And the first step to celebrating the wins is recognizing that there is a win to celebrate. And to me, that is an absolute game changer. Is recognizing within your own health entrepreneurial journey, in the lives of your team members, in the lives of your friends, your family, that there are wins to celebrate, regardless of the challenges that we are facing. For us in Southeast Queensland, a huge win that we can celebrate is the fact that we have just exited out of an 8-day lockdown. Huge win. Yet, how are you then celebrating this with your team? How are you checking in with your team to know that they are recognizing that this is in itself is an accomplishment? And so, big or small, what are we doing to empower the teams that we're taking along our journey with us, our family that we're taking along the journey with us, our friends that we're taking along the journey with us? What wins are we celebrating collectively? And what are we doing to recognize those wins? For us, a huge win over the weekend was that our daughter turned 6 months old. Huge win for us. Huge win. And if you're following us on Instagram, and I'll put up a little thing over here, you'll be able to see some of those behind the scenes photos very soon. We went and did like some cute little photos, and my birthday in itself is coming up in a couple of weeks, and Tash did a little I guess celebratory thing to celebrate both little milestones as well. And so you can jump onto Instagram to check that out. But when we look at thanks, Cherie, thanks so much. Yeah, so for us, the wins that we can celebrate can be personal. They don't have to be the golden medals, that elite status that we're jumping on. They can be whatever wins that you classify as a win. And a win is for you. A win isn't for those around you. A win is for you. And that's the most important distinction, is that what are you in this game for? Are you in this game to win in order to please others? Or are you in this game to win to not only prove to yourself, but to help empower those around you to lift and step up and play a bigger game themselves? Because at the end of the day, we're a product of our environment. And if we, as health entrepreneurs, step up and celebrate the wins within our own environment, then aren't we then lifting the environment in which we live? And that's the whole point of being a health entrepreneur. That's the whole point of stepping into the power of health entrepreneurship, is to improve the lives and well-being of those around us. And if we are celebrating and focusing on the positives in our lives, then that enables others to do the same. When you look at an event like the Olympics, the event isn't about individuals. The event isn't about teams. It is about communities and countries coming together to celebrate the amazing achievements and to lift that feeling of pride, that feeling of belonging, and that feeling of winning. Australians sitting at home in isolation and quarantine in a lockdown were able to celebrate through the lives of others. Through the lives of others that aren't even near them, they're overseas. Yet we as a community lift and we can celebrate. So, isn't that the power of you within being a health entrepreneur? By you celebrating your wins, big or small, it's not just for While it is for you, it is that power within yourself that actually allows others to lift. So my question to you today, as I wrap this up, is what wins are you going to celebrate this week, this day, this hour, this minute? Is it a win that you got up to watch an episode of Tea with Z? Is that a win? I know for me, that's a nice win, being able to get up and chat with each and every one of you in the morning. Because it's funny that I even mentioned that, because for me, sometimes, it's harder to get up and wake up. And for me, then I'm like, actually, wait, no, it's a win to be able to wake up today. It's a win to be able to wake up today. Because we know that there's a lot of people in this world that aren't. We went through that just last week as a family, close relatives, well, close friends of ours suddenly passed. And at the end of the day, it's the moments and being present in that moment. And that's what wins are all about. So what win are you celebrating today, in this hour, in this minute? And how are you doing it with those around you? Are you doing it just for yourself, or are you doing it to encourage others to celebrate their own wins? And whether or not that's asking in your team briefing this morning, what's your win from the weekend? That's asking your friends and family, what's happening amazingly in your life right now? What are you grateful for? Whatever shape or form that you plan on celebrating wins, when are you going to start, and how are you going to acknowledge and recognize that you don't have to wait for the big wins? A win is a win, regardless of its size. So that's it from me today. Big shout out to the Limitless Network that jumps on with me exclusively every Friday. So if you consider yourself a health entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form, if you value health in any way, shape, or form, if you are taking charge of your health to empower not only yourself, but those around you to lift and to also take charge of their own health and well-being just through seeing your actions. Like I said before, you are a product of your environment. Then this is a group for you. We deep dive into a topic every Friday in the Limitless Network. And I'd love to see you and your friends and family, whoever that you believe can take on this journey. And this is what it's all about. It's just prompting thought, prompting discussion. It doesn't have to be, it's not designed to be, quite confronting. It's designed just to provoke thought. And that's what the Limitless Network and Tea with Z is all about. So have an amazing week celebrating your wins, whatever shape or form that they come in, whatever size that they come in. And I look forward to seeing you on another episode of Tea with Z. And once again, just quickly, I am posting up other content on LinkedIn. And if you do want to see some little behind the scenes snaps of our family and Cyrus turning 6 months, then jump on our Instagram as well. Those photos are going to jump out pretty soon. So that's it from me today. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow. Bye for now.